Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my broadcast this morning. I hope you're all feeling well and warmer. It is a little bit, was been a little bit chilly recently, but it's a bit better now. Today we're going to look at wrapping. Specifically, we're going to look at, we're going to look at eco-friendly wrapping. I've tried over the last few years. I've always loved wrapping things, and I've always tried different methods of wrapping every year. And something new. Not that anybody really appreciates it. In my family, it tends to be, tiny bit of paper and a whole roll of sellotape. However, lately, in line with a lot of people, I've tried to make it a little bit more interesting and eco-friendly. So my favourite eco-friendly methods of wrapping are recyclable and reusable. So by recyclable, I mean paper. I still use paper, but I like to use paper that's recyclable. So anything that's got a glitter or a foil or even a shiny coating on it is usually not recyclable. So I tend to avoid papers like that, and I tend to avoid gift bags as well, although gift bags are reusable. So, but at the end of the life, they're still plastic. So the things that I'm looking at this year are, I found some recyclable paper in a leading supermarket. This is it. I'm going to use this year to wrap my presents. I've also, last year, I bought plain brown paper without a coating, and I bought a lot of the, the takeaway bags you see, the paper ones. I bought a lot of those, white ones, and I stamped them myself. So I'm just going to show you quickly how I did that. I'm just going to turn the camera down a little bit, and I will show you what I used. So the first thing I did, I bought some stamps. These are just a foam stamp. They're all different little snowflake designs. I think there's 6 in the pack. And the paper I used was a brown wrapping paper, not recyclable. Now, on the brown, it is recyclable. I said not, but I meant that. On the brown, I don't know whether you can really see the snowflake. Oh, yeah, you can. So I've used a silver ink pad. Just one of the pads you just get for stamping. See, this is the trouble. This is the trouble with paper off a roll. Luckily, I've got my magnetic ruler on my magnetic cutting board, so I can flatten it out, and the ruler will hold it straight to a certain extent. Because it is magnetic, I do have some little magnets to go on it, but I cannot find it. So, as you can see, I've already started to stamp this. I've got 3 designs, and I'm going to cycle through them until I've covered all the paper. So you get the easiest way with your ink pad is to put your ink pad onto your stamp, not the other way around. So you just dab it all over, put plenty on, because these rubber stamps, foam rubber stamps, will absorb a little bit of the ink. And then you just press it down. And it dries fairly quickly if you use ink. You can use paint. Last year I used a red paint to do my gift bags, but you do have to leave that to dry. And I want to use some of this to show you how it looks when it's wrapped up, and also to show you a method of tying it or decorating it. Ribbons are fine. Don't mind the use of ribbons as long as they're not too acrylic. Recycled ribbons even better. I get a lot of ribbons to reuse. A friend of mine has a pony, and they go trekking a lot, and she always gets a rosette for all the treks she goes on, the organised ones. So she brings them to me eventually when she's got too many, and I rip them apart and reuse the ribbons. So I'm just going to stamp this last bit, and then it will be ready. So again, you just dab all. Once you've got ink on your stamp, first time you use it, it absorbs a lot of ink, but once you've got ink on it, it's not so bad. Get a good press down. And always remember to cover your ink up straight away so it doesn't dry out. Take that last one off. And then you can see we've got this nice wrapping paper. The ink's dry. So I'm going to wrap. This is great for me because I haven't done any wrapping yet. So I'm getting to wrap up Christmas presents now. 2 things I'm going to wrap today. Just a very simple square package, which is probably just about the right size of paper there. I'm going to turn it over. Now, I was always taught to wrap it upside down. Don't ask me why. And it's become a thing now. The only thing I haven't got is sellotape. I'm going to use glue dots. Sellotape say not very eco-friendly, but you know, you've got to, at some point you've got to give in, because otherwise you'd never get things wrapped. So I'm going to use these little glue dots, one of my favourite things. So, nice way to wrap presents, crease the edges as you wrap, and then if it unravels, it'll go back in the same way. So put that on there. Nice sharp edges. Then when you come to do the ends, you've got nice sharp edges. And also, you know where to put your glue dots. So I'm going to just put the glue dots under that edge. Now I am going to tie this after. So the glue dots are just to hold the paper in place while we're getting ready to tie. So now we've just got enough at the ends to do our little neat folds at the ends. Probably a little bit too much there. It is a good idea, but the neatest way to wrap presents is to measure properly. Measure your paper to the correct size. And it's something that I always mean to do and then get carried away and don't. So again, I'm going to put a couple of glue dots on there so I don't have any sellotape showing. And I'm just going to fasten that up at the end. Quickly do the other end. Now, I was saying before about things to wrap, to tie with. So, ribbons, fine, yeah, as long as they're not too acrylic. You're allowed acrylic ones if they're recycled or reused from something else. And then when you tie your ribbons, don't tie them really tightly, or you know, tie them so that it can be untied and reused. The other thing you can use is string. Coloured string or jute string are really nice because they've sort of got that natural look to them, which will go with the topper I'm going to show you. So there's my parcel, all neatly wrapped up. Now I'm going to use some cord that I've got here, if I can find it. I'm going to use this nice silver, I've got gold there as well, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the silver cord because it goes with my silver stamping. And I'm going to cut off enough to go. The other thing is, don't overwaste, don't overuse or waste. Just use as much as you need. Now I'm not going to tie this in a bow because I'm going to put a present topper over it where and I'm just measuring as much as I need and another 2 inches. And then I always like to tie mine slightly off centre. Oh, I dropped it there with me. I like to do them sort of like that. I don't know why, it's just me. So I'm going to start at the top, turn it over, pull it so that I've got even sections here, cross over like that, and take it back to this side. And then I'm just going to tie it in a double knot. I'm actually going to tie it under there, I think, just so that it holds that one in place as well. And tie it in a knot and then another knot, just so that it's, but not too tight on the second knot. So I've got a nice little sort of crossover knot there. Now I'm going to show you my topper. I'll just pop that to one side. This is the topper I've made. Now this is made from, this is live greenery, so that's a little bit Christmas tree. This is bay, because I've got bay growing in the garden. This is a Christmas decoration that, can you see that? I'll hold that up to the camera. Don't know if you can see it very well. It's like a red glass Christmas tree decoration, and the ends broke off. So I'm going to add 2. The other 3 are still on my tree, so I'm going to use them. It's glass and metal, so it's recyclable. Now I'll show you how I put that together. So I need a piece of bay. I usually take the tips out of the bay because it spreads nicely. But don't worry, all this bay will get reused when I do my turkey. So I'm going to cut a nice spread of leaves, so it's fairly flat. I usually use rosemary as well, but unfortunately I haven't got any live rosemary. And what I've got, I need for going in my turkey. I just think I'll use just a single piece of the pine, and I've got some very fine silver wire here. You don't have to use it this fine. You can use florist wire of any sort, or whatever you've got around. Fuse wire. People don't use fuse wire anymore. And I'm going to wire those two bits together quite a bit around the stalk like that, so that they sit nicely. And then, where's my Christmas decoration hidden? There it is. So this is a different style, but I'm going to then thread the wire through the Christmas tree decoration somewhere. This one's actually lost its little loop, but it's got some perforations, so it should go through. There we go. So that's wired now onto the other bit, and then I'm just going to wrap it around the stem. And then I think I again will use the glue dots. You could use hot glue. I'm not sure how recyclable. I think the hot glue might be better. I'll just put that onto heat. I'm not sure how recyclable glue dots are, but as you can see, it's going to be quite a nice finish to this topper. Let's try the glue dot, and then we'll, if it doesn't work, I'll put some hot glue on it. There we go. So that is my finished present. I've got recyclable paper, hand stamped. I've got the cord, which is recyclable as well, and a lovely natural present topper. Now this, obviously the green will die away, but the Christmas tree decoration is part of your present. That's another thing that I really like, is having things, the wrapping, to be part of the present. So that's what I'm going to show you next. So that is my stamped brown paper with a beautiful live topping up, present topper on it. And I just hope none of my family are watching, because they know what they're getting for Christmas now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going with the reuse, the wrapping as part of the present. Now this is in that really nice Christmas tea towel. And as, let me just move all these stamps out of the way before I get covered in silver. And as one of the awkward things to wrap is always a bottle. So I'm going to show you how to wrap the bottle in a tea towel. So what I'm going to do, I don't know whether you can see properly, but I'm placing the bottle over the top 2/3 of the tea towel. And I'm going to use pins. I'm folding the bottom third over, and then I'm going to go upwards at an angle here. So you've got this nice pleat appearing. And I'm going to use pins. Now, the best, if you're using pins, the best pins to use are ones with big heads, so that they're visible. Now this, I don't know whether you can see that, but these came in my husband's shirt, and they've got little sort of crystally tops, so I thought they were quite nice. I would keep them. So you just put your pin in to hold your fabric closed. Oh, don't prick yourself. Now draw this down a bit so you can see what I'm doing with the top half. So we're going to put another pleat in above the second one, the first one I mean. And again, you're folding over, so your pleat comes there, then another pin, and then the final bit, that pin hasn't gone all the way through. There we go. Can get a bit awkward when you've got a few folds of fabric to go through. There. So the final bit is the top, and you're going to tie that with whatever you're using. I'm going to use some of this red cord. I don't know if you can really see that now. It's a little bit awkward with tall things. So I will unwrap some of this red cord, just enough to tie my bottle. And I'm going to wrap it a couple of times round. So I'll lay it down again. Can you see the top there? Yeah. So this is the top of the bottle. I'm finding the neck just underneath the where the fastening is, and I'm going to wrap it round a couple of times and then tie it. I don't think I've got enough to tie a bow, so I'll just tie it double. And then I'm going to use the same decoration. This is the one I made as my sample, and I'm going to just wire that onto the bottle. Now this decoration still has its hook on, so I'm going to use that to feed the wire through. And then I'm going to feed the wire under my cord, if I can get it in. The advantage of this wire is it's thin, and the disadvantage of it is it's thin. So it doesn't look, you know, you can barely see it, but it is difficult to poke under things because it bends. So I'm just trying to feed that through. Doesn't help that I've just had my nails done, nice Christmas red, so they're a little bit thick to get under things. So I'm just gonna tie. You can actually tie this wire. It's that soft. And then I'll cut the ends. So I'm gonna stand the camera up so you can see this full width, full length. Let me just move it back a tiny bit. Okay, so that is my, I'm just gonna, there's also a label on this tea cloth, so I'm gonna just cut it. You can spread the top out so you get that sort of rose effect. I've got my lovely topper, which seems to be hiding the, twist that around a little bit so you can see the decoration again. There we go. So everything goes, colours all match. It's a really easy way to wrap a bottle. You can do this pleated method with wrapping paper as well, if you want to. And you would just put a little bit of tape where we've put the pins. So that's wrapping method number 2 again. So that's making the wrapping part of the present. Okay, and it's the awkward shape of a bottle. So the other thing I'm going to quickly show you, and again it's just a case of making something look a little bit special. So this is a gift card. I'm going to use again some string, although yes, I'll use this narrower. This is crochet cotton. It's covered in a bit of fur from the last thing I did. So I'm going to pull quite a lot off because what I want to do is wrap this a couple of times. So I'm going to wrap this around and then around again. So we've got a double cord, if you like. And then round again. I don't know about you, I do quite a lot of crochet and I do have lots of ends left over. So this is quite good for that, because if you've got those little ends of thread of yarn, maybe a foot or so that you don't really know what to do with, this is what you can do with it, particularly at Christmas when I tend to buy Christmassy yarns. So I've got sparkly ones. Now, well, I'm just going to move those closer together. And then what I would do is, I haven't written the name on this one yet, and I'm not going to write it on, although he knows what he's getting. So I would then decorate it with a little bit of my greenery. So I'm just going to use one of my bay, no, well, I use 2 of the bay leaves. Make something very simple. Wire them together. Maybe put a ribbon on as well. So there's my bay leaves. I'll get a bit of red ribbon and make a little bow. So I'm going to make a bow. Well, it's more like a ribbon flower, really. So I pleat my ribbon into, so it's about 1 inch pleats over and over. Like that, and then one last one. And then you pinch it together at the bottom and wire it. Don't wire too tight because you want them to spread out. So I'm just gonna wrap that over and over and over like that, and then spread it out, and that adds a nice little bit of colour. And pop these like that. My phone's ringing now. Don't know how many people are watching this morning. I don't think there's very many. Everybody could be out Christmas shopping. So a nice little ribbon flower there, and then I'm going to just wire that and that together. And then attach it to my little card. Now, I do know that one of the demonstrations this week has been on furoshiko, which is a Japanese method of wrapping presents into a little bag made out of scarf. That's the finished gift card. And I quite like that method. I used it last year, and I got various different bits of fabric from all over. So one of the things that I managed to get last year was these very nice purple napkins. I bought these at a charity shop, so they're second hand. And let me find a present to wrap it in. They're more of a girly thing, and I seem to have wrapped all my girly presents. But I'll just use this. And a very simple method is to put your package in the middle, if you've got a square of cloth, and just bring the edges up and just tie them. That present is a little bit big for that, but you can tie the opposite ends together. Corners, I mean. So I'll tie those two corners and tie the other two corners. Now, if you aren't able to, or you haven't got time now to go foraging in charity shops for, there we go. I love that. I think that is so elegant. Other ways of reusing fabric is to look at what you've got at home. Now, this I just ran up yesterday on the sewing machine. I've got some Christmassy fat quarters. I don't mind using new fabrics because they are reusable. Now, this you could use for this method as well, but I'm thinking that this would make a really nice basket liner, so bread basket or something like that on your Christmas table. It's a little bit big to be a napkin, but again, you can use the same method of wrapping. That's maybe a bit big, but I've got presents to wrap now. Again, you can use it the same way. What else have I got in here that makes good wrapping? I've got, I made a lot of gift bags myself. So these are fabric gift bags. They're very, very simple. It's Christmas fabric. It's just two seams up the side. I'll just turn it right inside out so you can see. It's a seam up this side, not right to the top. If you leave about an inch at the top for your channel, a seam up that side, and then just a casing stitch around the end. And then you will just feed through ribbon or cord or something. That's got polar bears. It's not strictly Christmas, but people like polar bears. You can also make little, I've used little rectangles of felt and embroidered the person's name on it. Did that for my little niece, my great niece. So a fabric gift bag rather than a paper gift bag. And then that can be reused as a toiletries bag, or a kid, if it's for a child, they could use it for their PE kit or anything like that. So that's another good recyclable method. What else have I got in here? I'm going to go back to toppers. I recently acquired some peacock feathers recently. We've got peacocks in our village. This isn't one of his, unfortunately, because I think they shed them earlier in the year. But peacock feathers make a lovely topper. Any sort of feather does, really. I also got, we were having a sort of 20s style party, so I bought peacock feathers, and I bought ostrich feathers for headdresses. So this would make a really nice topper if I can thread it through. The trouble is I keep turning upside down. I tied my knot really neatly there. So you can add that. How beautiful is that? That is so elegant. I'm going to actually untie this and put a girly present inside it. But that is really, really elegant. The other things you can use, these pearl beads. I'm a big fan of recycling beads. If you want to make fake mistletoe, these are excellent for it. And you simply thread them onto a bit of fine wire again. So you thread one and twist, and thread the other and twist again. And then we're finally threading the last one. We haven't got a lot of people watching today. I don't know whether we've got connection issues, but hi to Maureen. Put my third bead on and then wrap them again so that they're a little trio like that. So these can go. I've got some holly here. I'm not going to use it, it's really prickly. Again, if I use a little bit of my bay with those beads on, that's very nice. Now, gift cards, or tags anyway. If you watched me last week, I was showing you how to recycle cards. They will make really nice gift tags. So you get an old card. That's a bit big, that one. These are those little tiny cards that you sometimes get. These make great gift tags. So you just simply cut it out, and you cut the greeting side off, and you punch a hole in it, and you can use that as your gift tag. You can also use plain brown or white card and use your stamps again to make a gift tag. Just bear with me, I will get white. Also a nice way of making a Christmas card itself. So I'm going to just stamp up one of my snowflakes. This would be nice with, if you use brown paper with your, it would be nice with your stamped paper as well. So then you would just cut out that square of card as neatly as you can. I'm not very neat today. Just need to square that off a bit. So then you can punch a hole in it, a little bit of silver thread, makes a lovely gift tag. So that's all I've got for you today, and this is my last broadcast before Christmas. So I'm just going to pop these back on the table, turn the camera up a little bit, and show you them again, because I think they're very elegant. So we've got our stamped brown paper with cord and our nice green topper. We've got our gift card in an envelope with again with our nice little with our cord and our nice green topper. Our bottle wrapped in a tea towel. And lastly, our very, very elegant satin wrapped. That's a napkin, and with our lovely peacock feather in it. And I think you'll agree that they're all very, as well as being recyclable and reusable. They are very elegant. I'm quite pleased with them myself. They turned out better than I thought. Anyway, so I'm just going to say thank you to Anne and Maureen, who seem to have been watching. I don't know why we haven't got as many today. I hope that you all have a beautiful Christmas and a very, very happy New Year. I'll be back in January. So in the meantime, all the best to all of you and all of your family. Have a lovely Christmas. And this is me saying bye. Goodbye.